Yeah. Purpose. See, everybody got a purpose. You just gotta find your purpose. See, everybody got a purpose. You just gotta find your purpose. See, everybody got a purpose. You just gotta find your purpose. See, everybody got a purpose. You just gotta find your purpose. Yeah, that's the meaning of life. You just gotta let it flow and find out what direction to go. Purpose. See, everybody got a purpose. You just gotta find your purpose. See, everybody got a purpose. You just gotta find your purpose. See, everybody got a purpose. You just gotta find your purpose. See, everybody got a purpose. You just gotta find your purpose. That's right, Purpose the Talk Show. The talk show with a purpose. Only on the Focuz TV network. That's right.
Man, did you see what he was wearing?
Yeah.
I seen it. Can't believe he was wearing
Come on.
it. Yeah, you know, right? Word.
That's right. Will I still be cool if I were at school? The appropriate dress code. Yeah. The appropriate dress code. Yeah. The appropriate. Will I still be cool if I were at school? The appropriate dress code. Yeah. The appropriate dress code. What? The appropriate dress code. Will I still be cool if I were at school? The appropriate dress code. That's right. The appropriate dress code. What? The appropriate dress code. Will I still be cool if I were at school? The appropriate dress code. Yeah. The appropriate dress code. That's right. The appropriate dress code. Will I still be cool if I were at school?
Purpose the Talk Show with Purpose on the Focuz TV 1 network, with your host Kimberly Trapani, every Saturday at 4 Eastern Standard Time. Stay tuned.
You are tuned in to the Focuz TV 1 network. I am your host, Kimberly Trapani of the Purpose Show, and we are very excited to have a fashion show today on what to wear in schools. The more clothes, the better. And before the show goes on, I'd like to say rest in peace, Tyree Nichols. This America is going crazy. We have police officers that are not appropriate in every stretch, but we are in New York and Colorado right now and streaming live. And without further ado, the show must go on. Welcome, Liz Diaz. I have Liz Diaz, a social worker. Thank you for coming on the show, Liz Diaz.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Just want to say thank you, first off. And I'm so looking forward to having this discussion, this much needed discussion of attire for school-age children.
Okay, well, I'm sporting my Calvin Klein jacket right now, and it's covering my thong, and I have my mittens. It's getting a little hot in here, so we'll just readjust. How'd I do so far?
Good, good, good.
Okay, and can you talk to me a little bit about you're a mother. Talk to me a little bit about appropriate clothing for school.
Okay, so when I think about a school, so I have a 15-year-old, so she's in high school, right? And I'm looking at when the shift changed because preschool and kindergarten and elementary school, you kind of gear and kind of work with them to pick out outfits because they're still in that. I want to be cute. I want my pigtails to match my shirt and this, that, whatever. But then the struggle comes in when they get to middle school because now you're influenced with other people and from all different walks. And to me, that was the biggest challenge. Trying to figure out now how they are going to wear something that's suitable for school, right? Like showing I'm here for education and not a fashion show or not, the name brand designer, jeans and all this stuff, and getting them to understand the importance of the appropriate clothing. Now that she's in high school, it's a constant battle because they want to wear the tight stuff. They want to, this is too loose, it's too baggy, it's too this, it's too that, but it's appropriate. Now trying to get them to understand the bigger picture. So I think the biggest issue starts with middle school into high school.
Liz, you have a master's degree. Can you tell me about that?
I have a master's degree in social work. I've been a social worker for my whole life without even getting the education and the degrees, right? Always a nurturer, a helping agent to anybody that I've came across. I've helped raise 6 of my nieces and nephews. So I wasn't only the aunt that came in, on special occasions. I was the aunt that was there day in and day out. Thank you. And going to school for my social work degree was just because I was working with an agency that everybody saw the helper in me but me. Mm-hmm. And I when I started college, I was a business major, I was an English major, I was everything else. And then when I finally listened to the advice of people, I was like, well, let me try it. And I realized that I had all the innate, because it's an innate skill, right? I had all of those innate skills of helping, of wanting to help. It took me 8 years to get my bachelor's degree. I got my bachelor's in social work. And then I went and got my master's at advanced standing. And I got my master's in social work. I sat for the exam, but unfortunately did not pass it. And then when I looked at what the situation was, my daughter was 5 years old. She's actually my stepchild, but I've raised her since 4 or 5 years old to now, right? She needed me more. So I put that professional social work career on hold and worked more personally with it, was there for her to help her through the years she needed it. So that's where I'm at. So I'm a social worker at heart.
So you understand a bit about what it is to raise a child and send them off to school. And you understand that our generation used to shop at Kmart, and the children now are asking, what is Kmart?
Exactly.
It's Walmart, right?
Yep.
And can you tell me a little bit about what you chose to wear today?
What I chose to wear then?
Right now, today.
Oh, right now. Well, today, okay, so I'm a small frame, right? So yeah. I want to be able to feel comfortable, like we've been speaking about, right? Because it's a comfort level, as well as being in a position where people will take you serious. So today I have on just some jeans. Let me see if you can see. Some blue jeans, right? With a white sock covered over. I am wearing a spaghetti strap shirt, but no one would know because I have a shirt over it. And this is what I think is presentable for a teenager as well, not showing too much, covered up and still nice and a comfortable fit.
Define appropriate before we cut to commercial break.
Appropriate is where you have enough covered up, where you feel comfortable and the person that's sitting next to you feels comfortable, where you have everything that needs to be covered. That's what I feel appropriate.
Awesome. And when we come back, we're going to talk to Liz Diaz a little bit more about raising children, going to school, and what is the fashion style of 2023.
Wonderful.
Man, did you see what he was wearing?
Yeah.
I seen it. Can't believe he was
Come
wearing
on.
it. Yeah, you know, right? Word.
That's right. Will I still be cool if I wear it to school? The appropriate dress code. Yeah. The appropriate dress code. Yeah. The appropriate. Will I still be cool if I wear it to school? The appropriate dress code. Yeah. The appropriate dress code. What? The appropriate dress code. Will I still be cool if I wear it to school? The appropriate dress code. That's right. The appropriate dress code. What? The appropriate dress code. Will I still be cool if I wear it to school? The appropriate dress code. Yeah. The appropriate dress code. That's right. The appropriate dress code. Will I still be cool if I wear it to school? This world is so cold, and everything is on ice. But you know what? I want to warm up with a margarita slice, extra cheese. These dudes act hard, but I'm ice. Only forget a fight. Be with the queen all night. You heard wearing cleats. Get out of them streets. Pull up to your kid's game. Make memories. Stop chasing clout and stop chasing fame.
Body sit on nice just like this drink is pouring me up. We are not the same, so don't you ask what's up in my cup. We in different brackets, so you know we running it up. If you getting paper, then you know you running with us.
So cold.
On ice.
On the ice, baby.
On ice.
So cold.
On ice.
We live, Focuz TV 1 Network. Right there. What do you think about your new year, 2023?
It's going good so far.
Going good so far. So school and everything. You ready for the next year? Or are you ready to conquer this year, or what?
I think I'm ready for next year.
You ready for the next year?
Starting strong.
So, business-wise, you got the company. What are you doing with your company?
I'm like making bracelets, advertising, things like that.
Trying to get everything right for the company.
Yes.
Market it.
Yes.
You do all your marketing. You do all your advertising. You do all the custom work.
Custom work, yeah.
Okay. All right. Got anything else to say?
Happy New Year, guys. It's kind of chilly out here.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll see you the next time. Good shit.
Peace and love. I haven't said that for a long time. Peace and love. Peace and love.
All right. We out of here.
Man,
2022 is coming to an end. Going into 2023. What's the business?
Healthy lifestyle, fitness, 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 fitness. Healthy lifestyle, fitness, 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 fitness. Get fit the right way, mind, body, and soul. Get fit the right way, mind, body, and soul. Get fit the right way, mind, body, and soul. Get fit the right way, mind, body, and soul. Healthy lifestyle, fitness, 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 fitness. Healthy lifestyle, fitness, 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 fitness. Get fit the right way, mind, body, and soul. Get fit the right way, mind, body, and soul. Get fit the right way, mind, body, and soul. Get fit the right way, mind, body, and soul. Yeah, that's right. Healthy lifestyle fitness. Get fit the right way, mind, body, and soul. 2023 and beyond. Let's go.
Purpose the Talk Show with Purpose on the Focuz TV 1 network, with your host Kimberly Trapani, every Saturday at 4 Eastern Standard Time. Stay tuned.
We are talking with Liz Diaz, a social worker with a master's degree from New York and Colorado, on appropriate clothing for school. The more clothes, the better. And I just wanted to demonstrate how to hang a jacket for those children out there that needed the demonstration. You put a jean jacket on a hanger and you hang it up in the closet. I'm sure I sound like your mother, but that's where we're at with that. Liz, tell me a little bit about what you're wearing. What is more appropriate for school? How do you send your teenagers to school these days? And what do you buy? What brands?
Well, it varies. It varies because my teenager may feel sometimes she wants to wear jeans or sweatpants, especially now that we've moved from up north to the south. It's more of a shell shock because in up north you can basically wear whatever, right? And there's not much of a discipline. But then down south, it's more of there's a dress code, a particular, not that, you wear uniform, but you have to make sure that you're not showing no navel rings or no sleeve. You can't wear sleeveless. So it's a different kind of thing. So we basically, if she finds a sweatsuit she wants to wear, then she'll wear that. If she wants to wear a pair of jeans, then we make sure she has like a hooded sweater to go over it, just to kind of make sure those little things are not exposed, her. Like she likes to wear belly shirts underneath, but we try to make sure she has that hoodie sweater to go on top, so to avoid all those extra problems. So it's a constant battle because, when you're used to a certain way and then you come to a different form, a different way. It's that battle, and it's that, shell shock, like, but why? I wore it like this or this other time, and it's like, but these are rules and we got to follow it.
I went to a Catholic school. We had a uniform. I had to wear my skirt down to below my knee and my socks above my knee. And we curtsied and said, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, please, and thank you. How do you feel that the attire has changed over time or has stayed the same?
I remember that at one point there was a conversation about having uniforms for public schools from kindergarten to 12th grade. And then it became from kindergarten to at least middle school, 6th grade or something like that, to kind of make everything uniform, which was great, because then there was no back and forth with it, right? But then somewhere down the line, the conversations changed because, children should have freedom of speech. They should be able to this, they should be able to that. So those things have changed, because although growing up, it was just a Catholic school that had to wear the uniform, and we all looked, oh, they have to wear the same thing, but it was more of a uniform, right? Everybody had the same thing. There was less complications and less problems with that. I mean, I remember seeing the girls after school, rolling their skirt up a little bit because it was too long for them or whatever the case may be, but it wasn't, it was what it was at that point. And if public schools introduce that on a more consistent basis, then we wouldn't have as many problems with the dress codes that we do now. Dress code should be across the board, every state. It should be uniformed with what New York is doing. Texas should be doing it. Georgia should be doing it. Florida should be doing it. It shouldn't be up to the states. It should be uniform, just like gun laws, right? So when we look at things, because it's going to better those children, it's going to put that structure that, yes, us as parents, we put in, but then what happens when society tells them to do something different? We all know, we've done it, right? We then tend to do what society does because we want to be cool. We want to be able to, have that friend that's not going to laugh at us for what we wear. So it's things like that. So how can we get to that point? Or suitable clothing where that's age appropriate, that will also not be a distraction to the students or the teachers in school.
What kinds of things are you seeing in schools right now with the way that the kids are dressing that we necessarily, you and I and our generation didn't necessarily see growing up? How are children dressing and what brands are they wearing?
But I'm not so much into the brands, but you see them wearing them short mini skirts, those low cut tops, and children today, I mean, I must have not drunk the good milk because you see I'm slim. The children today, it must be the chicken, the milk, whatever's in it, they're more developed than they were that I was at their age, or our, generation was, right? So you see them, they know what they have, and it baffles me because they develop so quickly, not aware of what this development means, but quickly pick up on how to wear things that's going to make it pop out.
Sure.
And that's where the struggle comes in at, because I received a notice in the beginning of the school year here to say what you can and can't wear. We have a whole handbook that both the parent and the child has to sign, that they fully check. If it's a skin tight, that's not acceptable. You can't wear slides or sandals. You have to wear sneakers. You can't wear Crocs. You have to wear, certain things, which I understand, because anything like that is a distraction. So it's like the woman, it's like the women that work in the office that want to seduce the boss or the boss's assistant to get that raise. That's what you're seeing in schools, more so high schools. Middle school, maybe 7th, 8th grade, high schools, you see that from these students. And you're going to school to get an education, not to kind of get a free pass or anything like that. Well, you should be wanting to go to school for an education, right?
Yeah, and I remember when I was young, my mother told me it was either a nose ring or a driver's license. I had the choice, but I chose my driver's license. I wanted the privilege to drive rather than put a nose ring in my nose and have a permanent hole in my body parts that was visible other than the earrings that I'm wearing. And these kids, what do they know at maybe 14, 15, 16 years old, where they're able to go out with their pants below their hips with their underwear showing or their cleavage showing in a bra?
They don't know anything. They think they know because, again, they conform to what society is telling them or what they see on social media. They see, oh, this person is wearing it, so it's okay for me to wear it, not knowing the effects that it has behind it. So like those girls that wear those short mini skirts, you're going to tell me a boy's not going down there and touching you or trying to touch you feel? I've had conversations. I remember when my daughter was in, I think it was 6th grade, I had to have those conversations with her about what you're wearing and how quick and easy it was to get fondled or to have sex. She didn't know you can have sex standing up. And it was like, why am I having this conversation at this age? Because society has changed, where that's what they see and then that's what they gravitate to. So although the learning comes from home and we instill one thing, it's totally something different once they get out there. And if you
go back to that child who had, I don't know what she wore, but that was missing in the state of New York,
Right.
What kind of boundaries are we supposed to have on the children that are out with two strange men, one a convicted felon, mind you, an adult male, and a boyfriend, we don't know how old he is. What restrictions do you think has to happen? Because what does a 14-year-old want to do at midnight with two adult men? What are the hormones raging?
Yeah, I would say so. My daughter had a friend that she went to, it was elementary school with, and she went to middle school with. And it turned out that little girl was next door neighbors to a friend of mine. When my friend told me the story that little girl that's only now 15, and this happened maybe when she was 13, 14, that she was leaving her house in the middle of the night and going into vans with grown men. What are you doing?
What are they wearing then?
Short clothes that the prostitutes wear. That used to walk 42nd Street back in the day when 42nd Street was, full of prostitutes.
Hold that thought. When we come back, we're going to wrap up and we're going to talk to Liz a little bit more about appropriate clothing and attire for adolescents when we come back.
Yes.
Man, did you see what he was wearing?
Yeah.
I seen it. Can't believe he was wearing
Come
it.
on.
Yeah, you know, right?
That's right. Will I still be cool if I wear it to school? The appropriate dress code, yeah. The appropriate dress code, yeah. The appropriate. Will I still be cool if I wear it to school? The appropriate dress code, yeah. The appropriate dress code, what? The appropriate dress code. Will I still be cool if I wear it to school? The appropriate dress code, that's right. The appropriate dress code, what? The appropriate dress code. Will I still be cool if I wear it to school? The appropriate dress code, yeah. The appropriate dress code, that's right. The appropriate dress code. Will I still be cool if I wear it to school?
Yeah, that's right. You in the mix. Focuz TV One Network. Focuz TV One Network.
This is Dr. Lee, and you're in tune with the Focuz TV One Network.
Purpose the Talk Show with Purpose on the Focuz TV One Network, with your host Kimberly Trapani, every Saturday at 4 Eastern Standard Time. Stay tuned.
We are talking with Liz Diaz with a master's degree in social work, and I have a sneaker here and a flip-flop. Liz, what do you think should a child go to school with the day of gym class?
The sneaker.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are you seeing the kids going in anything else to school other than a sneaker?
Yeah, I've seen them go in with the Crocs, because they can put the Crocs in supposedly sports mode. Just they invent their own things, and it's like, but no, that's not how you do it. You're supposed to wear sneakers for gym. You're supposed to, it's just the craziest things you see that they will justify because they want to wear what they want to wear. They will justify a reason, come up with their own way of thinking. And it's like, it doesn't make sense to us, but in your head, it makes sense. So it has to be okay. No, and that's why I like that there's consequences for when you don't wear the appropriate clothing. At least for my daughter's school, they have to do in-school suspension. There's consequences behind that.
When children are going to school in their pajamas, and I've taught kids too, I've seen lap dances in classrooms. I've seen children wrestling around in the hallways, touching, fondling. They feel they can because mommy and daddy aren't going to be home when the parents and teachers call and the principal. What do you think the ultimate solution is for kids? Do we need a unified dress code in public schools? Do we need a handbook? What's the solution in your opinion, Liz?
I think there needs to be a uniformed dress code, and strict rules. Like if you don't follow it, strict consequences, so that they learn, because it's for their safety. It's for their safety, and then they will know. You transition that into when they become adults, right? Because everything we learn as children, everything we're taught, we carry it on in some other form into our adult lives. So if you're in middle school or high school walking around looking like you belong at the club, right? What are you going to do when you go out there into society? You have to know what's right and what's wrong. And because parents are not having as many conversations with their children because they want to be their friends, opposed to being that parent to say, listen, this is what it is.
In the world, not to interrupt you, we have to interview for jobs, and this is called a pinstripe suit. And this would be considered appropriate for a job to make money and have a career at some point. Yes. How do you think implementing a dress code in public schools with handbooks on a unified system in America might prepare children for future jobs and interviews?
Because it would help them. They would know if this is the attire that I'm supposed to wear, if this is the attire that they're asking me to wear, because I'm going to a institute to learn, right? I'm gaining my education. This is what is required of me, right? Then I'm going to know that when I go to the workforce, when I go on that interview, there's a certain attire that they're expecting me to wear so that I have a better chance of getting that job.
And consequently, do you think a dress code would lower the children's going missing rate, or would it be a far stretch to think it might reduce the amount of sexual relations in teen pregnancies? Would some of the attire lead to more dropouts in school, or would it lead to reduction in inappropriate sex, possibly, or minor sex?
I think a uniform dress code would give the kids a different way of thinking, which can, I mean, there will be those that will want better, right? Because if we show them something better, right, then the hope is that they will do something better, right? So if we're saying that this is what is supposed to be of you, you're supposed to wear this is what is expected, then they will think for themselves, okay, and it would be a choice, right? Am I going to comply with what is being asked of me, or am I going to be delinquent to it? And in either way, there's consequences. So if you comply, just like when we were speaking earlier about the officers and just stop, right? If you comply, then there'll be less consequences, less negative consequences, right? So it would be the same thing. If you conform to the dress code and do what you're supposed to do, then your success rate will be higher.
Anything else you want to tell me, Liz, before we wrap? How do we contact you? Will you have a sample manual we can post online? You have the floor.
Not a sample. I just think, maybe appropriate pictures of what different things that they can wear, liking, like if it's a sweatsuit, if they're into, baggy sweats and sweatshirts and stuff, or if it's like a jeans, like what I was wearing, nice fitted jeans and a nice over top or whatever, or just there's kids that like to just wear baggy. So it all depends on them, but there's an appropriate level to it, that comfort level and that appropriateness to that. And my thing is it's always, I like to set an example, right? So I'm raised my stepchild, right? Like I've mentioned, I've had her since she was 4, right? And I've always tried to be that this is what it should be, right? Because you're a representation of your parents. However, we have a bigger struggle because her bio mom doesn't see it in the same manner. So where she should be that parent, she kind of applauds that unappropriate dress behavior because they have something in common. So it goes to being that best friend, right? So now the thing is that now the child comes back and is confused, like, which way should I go? Because if this one is saying this is how I like it, but I like this one better because my mother and I have something in common, we dress alike and, all this stuff, then there's a whole lot of confusion. So my thing is just finding that appropriateness in your comfort level where you can still wear something nice without showing too much.
Can you stand up one more time and just show us your appropriate outfit you picked for how to dress in school? And I love your top. It's just so classy and it depicts elegance. And your jeans, it's casual, but it's still upscale and classy. Can you do a spin around just for me for a minute? We don't see any underwear on you. We see nothing to leave. We have lots to leave to the imagination. Right. Beautiful top, beautiful pants.
Thank you.
Yes. And Liz, I appreciate having you on the show. We're going to have Liz on the show again. It hasn't been announced yet, but there's yet more to come.
Yes,
How would
definitely.
one contact you if they wanted fashion tips or social media tips?
Okay, on Facebook, Liz Diaz. On Instagram, it's Lee Dreams, LeeDreamzz, I believe. I think it's 2 Z's. And that's about it for social media. I also have a business page called J Writes and Lights. You can find me there as well. And that's it.
Perfect. And we are excited because we have an up and coming. You will be on the panel at some point, and this might be preliminary to announce, but however, it's the Purpose Show. We're going to talk with Liz in the future, so stay tuned. And I appreciate having you, Liz, today.
Thank you for having me.
You're the panelist for the relationship show, so we are excited about that.
Yes, so am I.
More to come, and thank you for coming on the show today to talk to us about appropriate clothing.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, Kim. I appreciate it.
Be safe.
Okay, you.
Man, did you see what he was wearing? I seen it. Can't believe he was wearing
Come on.
it. Yeah, you know, right? Word.
That's right. Will I still be cool if I wear it to school? The appropriate dress code. Yeah. The appropriate dress code. Yeah. The appropriate. Will I still be cool if I wear it to school? The appropriate dress code. Yeah. The appropriate dress code. What? The appropriate dress code. Will I still be cool if I wear it to school? The appropriate dress code. That's right. The appropriate dress code. What? The appropriate dress code. Will I still be cool if I wear it to school? The appropriate dress code. Yeah. The appropriate dress code. That's right. The appropriate dress code. Will I still be cool if I wear it to school? Purpose, the show with purpose on the Focuz TV 1 network.